Hey, it's Colton. In this video, I'm talking about low, mid, and high touch. The different levels of customer interaction and support that can shape your entire growth strategy. This all came out of a recent internal session with Elefante RevOps marketing team. I broke down the differences, it sparked a great conversation, and I thought it'd be worth sharing here with you. So let's dive in. What is low touch, mid touch, and high touch?
Yeah, wow.
Kind of, yes.
Oh
Uh,
my
it is related to the bow tie model.
god.
So we have another, so I'll back up. So we have 6 models that we use, right? Right
Yeah.
now, we're heavily focused on the data model. That's the most important model. We have a 6th model called the GTM model. So the go-to-market model,
Yeah.
right? Go-to-market is like, how do we take a business and how do we take the business to market so that we can generate revenue, essentially, right? Like, what is the strategy? Like, that's
Wow.
the question that we're trying to answer, right? With the go-to-market model. So the go-to-market model, we have an x-axis and y-axis. I think I got that wrong. X-axis, y-axis. And then we have no touch, low touch, medium touch, high touch, dedicated touch, right? And so all businesses are different. So like, for example, if I'm selling like let's say it's like an e-commerce store, right?
Okay.
All I want to do is create ads and marketing, and I just want a customer to come to my website, purchase a product, and like that's it, right? There's no sales team. There's really no human interaction with the customer at all, right? So that's like a no touch go-to-market motion, right?
Okay.
And so what we would do is create that as a buyer's journey inside the bow tie model, right? So that's one buyer's journey in the bow tie model, right? And then the next, so as we go up, and how we use this x-axis and y-axis is the following. So like a no-touch go-to-market motion, typically the price of the product is below $1,000, right? Like, let's think of like Netflix, for example, right? Like you sign up for a Netflix subscription, you don't ever talk to a human being. It's like $10 or however much it costs in your country, right? It doesn't, it's not a huge risk to you as a buyer to purchase the Netflix subscription, right? So then therefore we don't need a sales team to explain like why this would benefit you and all of that, right? So the price, the purchase price is low, right?
Wow.
And typically we sell in a very, very high quantity, right? So we sell very high quantity and the purchase price is low. So that's a no touch motion right here.
This makes so much sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Like, this is what, like,
Totally.
we make things make sense. And like, that's our goal with our business. If we're not making things make sense, then we're doing
Um,
something wrong. But this is what we teach our customers. Yeah. Well, once you purchase Netflix,
yeah.
then you've got to use Netflix. So as a customer, like, if I own Netflix, I want to make sure you, Lauda, as a customer, you're watching.
So you're nurturing with content.
So
With,
let's
with
just stay with the
movies.
Netflix example, right? So like, you're a lead, you're aware of Netflix, you start really considering Netflix, and then you purchase Netflix, and now you have to start using Netflix, right? So now okay, we'll stay focused on this one motion, right? And when I say motion, so all of these are different go-to-market motions, okay?
Yeah.
So those are different go-to-market motions. I'll just use this because it's simpler. So Netflix, right? I'm aware of Netflix. I'm like, man, I'm really bored. I need to watch TV. I'm so bored. Like, let me just go look at Netflix. So now I'm looking at Netflix. I'm looking at the price of Netflix. I'm considering it. Maybe I don't purchase it now. I get off the computer, but then the next day I'm bored again. I need to watch TV. So I come back and I'm still here. Then I click on the button to subscribe for Netflix, right? Then I'm here in selection. I'm still considering it. Maybe I purchase it now, maybe I don't. Either way, the next day I come back and I purchase it, right? So now I'm here, right? So I purchased Netflix. Now I have Netflix, so I need to figure out how to use it. How do I use Netflix? It's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward, right? So I teach myself how to use Netflix, and I love Netflix so much that I'm just going to stay here, and I'm just going to be in the retention, right? And so by me using Netflix, Netflix can see you as a user, how much usage, how much time you're watching Netflix, right? And so they can understand if you're going to churn, if you're going to leave Netflix or not, just by the data that you're giving them by watching Netflix. So like, and then I'll just finish with this. So like the Netflix example, like say you've been watching Netflix for like the last 2 years, and Netflix decides to increase the price like they always do, right?
Yeah.
One thing that they do is, okay, we'll decrease the price to $2 for the next 6 months if you stay with us. Like they'll do something like at the end, and that's how they prevent churn. That's how they prevent you leaving, right? So like that's the idea. That's a no touch motion, right? It's a small product. It's not a huge risk to you as a buyer to purchase Netflix. It's a small thing, right? So that's no touch, right? A low touch, so no touch, we call like self-serve. Word of mouth is how we generate leads, and community driven is a big part of it, right? And so I don't know if you can see this here, but in the world that we live in, it's called a product-led growth motion. So PLG is a product-led growth motion. The product sells itself, so they don't need a sales team. Netflix, they have a marketing team, but everybody knows who Netflix is. So at this point, people are buying it because of what Netflix is, right? Now, then we go to a low touch motion, right? And then we start getting involved with a sales team, right? So this is what we call a one-stage sales process. So with sales teams, let me give you. So with sales teams, there's several different motions when it comes to sales, right? But the most common ones for you guys to understand is a one-stage sales process. And when I say one-stage sales process, I mean there's one salesperson that takes the lead and brings them all the way to customer, right? So the salesperson will take a lead from education and all the way to mutual commit, right? So that's a one-stage sales process. And a low touch motion, it's combined with an inbound motion, right? So we generate leads through like content creation, through email marketing, through ads. That's an inbound motion, right? Cool. So that's a low touch motion. The price of it is above $1,000 a year. This is a year. The next one is a medium touch motion, right? And this one incorporates a two-stage sales process. So when I say two-stage sales process, that means there's typically 2 people on the sales team that work together, most commonly known as like an opener and a closer, or a setter and a closer is what it's called. So you'll have a setter who lives here in the education stage. They'll qualify the lead. They'll jump on the first call with the lead and ask them like questions, right? And so we build a playbook to ask them the right questions to see if they're a right fit for our business, just as much as they're trying to qualify us to see if we're the right fit for their business, right? And once that we call it an SDR, a BDR, or an ADR. I won't go too much into the technical aspect of it, but their job is to qualify the customer. Once they qualify the customer in the education phase, they'll say, "You're a great fit for us. Let's set up a follow-up meeting where you can talk to my closer or my account executive," right? So then that's when we book a meeting here in this part right here. And then the second salesperson will jump on that follow-up meeting. And the second salesperson is usually a lot more educated and knows the product or service a lot more. And so they'll do like a demo where they showcase the product or they'll showcase the service, right? And then after that demo, they'll typically get a gauge for the customer. Like, do you like the product? Do you think this is a good fit for you? And if the customer gives like a verbal commit, yes, let's move forward, then that's when the AE will send a quote to that customer, and then that customer signs the quote, and then they become a customer, right? So that's a 2-stage sales process, and that's a mid-touch motion. Right.
Very
Now,
nice.
yeah. So now, like once we get past a mid-touch motion, so a mid-touch motion can incorporate an inbound, generating leads through like marketing, and then it can also incorporate an outbound motion. So like sending out cold emails, like cold calling, like sending LinkedIn messages, like that's outbound, right? Like we're trying to create leads through outbound efforts,
Yeah.
right? Then we get into a high touch motion. And so now we start getting close to this $1 million a year, like product or service that we're selling, right? So typically when we go from medium touch to high touch, we start kind of going towards more like big businesses, like enterprise businesses. And it's what we called a field sales. So field sales is salespeople who will fly to executives, go in person, shake their hands, and those are like field sales people, right? Like it takes a lot of relationship building, like really trust, right? And that's what a big part of these salespeople do. You can think of like one big thing that Netflix is doing right now is like going after like sports events. It's like boxing events and stuff like that are like millions and millions of dollars, right?
Wow. True. That's true. So they do have a sales team, but not for audience. It's for
Not
brands, for example, or to
for like
have to be a
B2B.
player for
Hmm.
like show a Super Bowl or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
So they'll do this motion. Yeah. It'll probably be more like a dedicated. So like,
Touchdown.
yeah. So like a field sales motion, like it's relationship building, it's a big product. You're flying out, you're shaking hands, you're making deals happen, typically in person. Or it takes, so the difference is the sales cycle, right? As we go from low to dedicated, the time it takes to close a customer, it gets bigger and bigger, right? And so that's the difference.
That's it for this one. I hope it gave you a clear picture of how to think about low, mid, and high touch strategies when going to market. If it sparked any ideas, drop a comment. I would love to hear how you're approaching it. And before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching and keep doing it big. My name's Colton Rodriguez from Elefante RevOps. Bye for now.